Hello, CCFL. This is the Commish, Dolphin Mike, and I'm here to share with you this week what's going on in the CCFL. We're going to be discussing all kinds of different topics, including interviews with a couple of our coaches that are new to the league, that are currently undefeated. We're going to look at which teams are hot, which teams are not, and who the players are that are setting the stage for the playoffs in this very competitive CCFL season. If you're not familiar with the CCFL, NFL on Madden, we play with the Madden 2021 game. We are known as the Coaches Club Football League online franchise. We are the leader in online franchise since 2002. All of the CCFL games are broadcast on Twitch, where you can scout your opponents and look for coaching hints and helps. The NFL GM is our GM. That means whenever the NFL team makes a trade, a cut, a draft pick, or a free agent signing, we make the exact same move. So we always have current, custom, authentic NFL rosters. We cater to die-hard NFL fans, and our Madden rosters are custom. So our team overalls are all within 4 points overall of each other. It's very competitive. So you'll never see in the CCFL a 74 overall team playing against a 94 overall team. We are coach mode for the PC. That means there's no player control, but we can hot route, audible, shift, motion, roll coverage, anything that you want to do pre-snap other than move around players physically. You have to just use the calls in Madden to do that. That's what coach mode is. And I am the commish, Dolphin Mike. I've been the commish of the CCFL since I founded it in Madden 2002. About half of the league in the CCFL has been with the league since 2008 or earlier. And we have several real-life coaches in the league that have coached high school, college, or youth football. Many of us have played football on a higher level, and the league is the most competitive coach mode league on the internet, hands down. And we have the best sliders that complement our custom rosters. Nobody else puts the time that we do into making our teams authentic. So if you're interested in a great coach mode league, you might want to listen up, because this is the right show for you. The CCFL Commish Show is proud to announce we are about to interview our undefeated new coach to the CCFL, Sombrero, to tell us about his Titans. All right, so Coach, tell me a little bit more about these guys that you're counting on this year.
So obviously Derrick Henry, obviously A.J. Brown, Tannehill, but my offensive line, I think in order for Derrick Henry to be successful, the offensive line have to stay healthy. And week one, we actually lost Taylor Lewan, our starting left tackle. He's our best lineman on our team and kind of the leader of the team. And so that was a pretty big loss week one. I think it was in the third or fourth quarter where he went down. He'll be back in a few weeks, but just trying to get through these games without him is going to be a little bit tough. But my offensive line, I think, is going to carry this team. We'll be as good as the offensive line takes us. Defensively, up front, we're solid. Secondary wise, we got Byard as a safety that's holding it down, and then we got a rookie cornerback who's been doing pretty good as well out there. But we lost to Dory Jackson, who was a big cornerback for us. So trying to replace him is going to be rough. And then obviously Jadeveon Clowney, losing him. But Bud Dupree on defense has actually been doing pretty good. He came over from Pittsburgh, I believe, and he's got himself probably close to 5 sacks already, maybe more. So he's been a stud for us up front so far this year. So
That's
pretty
fantastic.
exciting.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, I know Dory Jackson went to the Giants, and Clowney's a Brown now. Yeah, losing your tackle, Lawan. He's a Pro Bowler every year. And then you guys had a bust first-round pick, Isaiah Wilson, out of Georgia last year. He didn't even last a full year with you guys. I know because the Dolphins picked him up, and he was cut by us in less than a week too.
I think it was almost a day or two that he was cut, right? It
Yeah,
wasn't very
something like
long.
that. Yeah, so yeah, but that's a guy that they thought would be another linchpin on that line, and they ended up losing a first round pick and got nothing, out of it. Um, I I'm really impressed with how you've used Derrick Henry again against the Bills. Over 200 yards rushing, and the fact that your offensive line seems to be, handling people up front that are typically hard to handle up front. The Bills' defense is excellent. They always give me problems, and you just kind of steamrolled those guys. And again, I I'm always impressed when I see people calling, traps and sweeps and inside and outside zone, and I see you doing all that kind of stuff. And Madden 2021 lets you have more on offensive line blocking options than any other version of the game. And guys that aren't using those options, it's just like, they're just blocking straight ahead, like I said, kind of like a youth football team. Just the coach tells the boys, hey, just block whoever's in front of you. And
Right.
that's not a great way to win and run the ball well in Madden. So as we're talking here, Coach, I'm watching your game against the Bills, and it looks like you've got some good defense going on too. And the Bills, they always play tough, and like I said, when you have coaches like the CCFL does, about half the league has been with the league since 2008 or earlier, and about half of those guys have real life coaching experience just like you do. I know you coach high school ball in Bakersfield, and that definitely helps you in Madden, no question about it.
Yeah, for sure. Just kind of managing the game and picking the right time to call those shots that those big plays that you want to hit downfield. The momentum of a football game is a big part of if you're going to win or not, and kind of trying to control that momentum and not making huge mistakes and letting your opponent gain a bunch of momentum in a shorter period of time is huge in this coaching mode.
Right. Yep. Coaching mode is a unique form of the game. By far, for me, it's the most fun part of the game. Who has been your toughest opponent of the teams you've played so far? Who impressed you the most?
I would say the Bills was probably my toughest match so far. The Jaguars, it was 14-29, I believe, when week 2 against the Jaguars. Um, that score should have probably been closer than what it actually was. That was a really close game. Um, I got some kind of easy touchdowns and defensive touchdown, I believe. So that was a really close game. But I would say probably the Buffalo Bills, just because I wasn't able to pass against them at all. It was just kind of again, give it to Derrick Henry and see what he can do with it. But my other opponents, I was able to kind of control the passing game and the running game the whole time. But
Right.
just because their secondary kind of shut us down so much, I would say probably the Buffalo Bills was biggest challenge so far.
Yeah, Herb always takes away one of the things you do, whether he takes away the run or the pass. He plays in a lot of leagues. He knows the game really well. Herb has actually been in my leagues, if you can believe this, since 1997 with Football Pro. And then we switched over to Madden in 2002. So he's the owner that's been with me the longest period of time. And I've played him so much that he knows me way too well. So I hate with a passion playing with him. He's a
Yeah.
great guy. He's one of my best friends in Madden, but I hate playing him because he knows way too much about what I like to do and how I like to do it, and all that. So it's tough to surprise him. I always have to work really hard to put in something new for him. I did notice in your game against the Jaguars, I try to watch all the games, especially new coaches, to make sure they've got their settings right, and all that. But The Jaguars, I thought they made a big mistake taking Trevor Lawrence out of the game. He's an X factor QB, and he's going to progress like crazy. And I thought that when he came out of the game for Minshew, I thought, wow, that's not a move I would make. I think you've got to build around him as number one. I think if the Jaguars do that, I think it's really going to help. And then the other thing is he's got one of the best backfields in the game with Robinson and the kid out of Clemson that played with Lawrence. Etany.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and you got to get both those guys in the game at the same time. Even if one's in a slot or something, they're both way too good to have one of them, riding the bench. And then the other thing is get the ball to them. Find ways to get the ball to those guys because they are just lightning in a bottle, both of them.
Yeah. I think that game he kind of got put in a situation where he had to throw the ball more, but I agree with you where Gardner Minshew should not have been in that game. That surprised me as well when he was playing. I thought maybe something happened to Lawrence, that he got hurt or something, but I don't think that was the case.
Right. Well, and part of coach mode is figuring it out, and a lot of the new coaches are in the same boat you are. They're actually just now figuring out coach mode, and so for some of them, you're ahead of them, and your real life coaching experience is probably one of the reasons why. And then you've been playing Madden, it sounds like, since early 2000s, so that's another advantage that you have, and that's pretty huge advantages, against somebody that's just now starting, coach mode. So I really like what I see you doing with the Titans. I think you're a fantastic coach, and we're so pleased to have you. And I really like all the new guys in the league. They're just good people, and I'm hoping they stick it out. Statistically, only about half the coaches will stick. Because a lot of guys join a league like this, and even though I tell everyone when they join, hey, it's really competitive, not very often do new guys come in and just win. Nobody really thinks that that's them, and then they join and they lose 3-4 games in a row, and for some guys it's just they can't handle that, and so they quit, and unfortunately the odds are we'll probably lose some guys, but I really like the personalities. Everyone's the right ages. We got guys that are over 25 and between 25 and 35, and that's usually a really good mature age for leagues like this where the coaches might be more willing to try to invest some time and get better, because in a league like this it takes a while to get everything figured out. That's just how the game is.
Yeah, definitely. It's a pretty big commitment, and I can only imagine how much of a commitment it is for you to organize this whole league and get things going. And you're doing a fantastic job running this league, and I'm very impressed. Communicative and able to schedule the games sometime during the week, which is awesome. Being able to realize when you're going to be playing and kind of plan your day around that and schedule it in is huge. So I think that's one of the big things this league does well, is everybody's kind of on top of it, and it'd be great if that continues.
Right. Well, and that's where I've got to be the bad guy all the time, because if I'm not a total prick about scheduling games by Monday night, what happens is guys who are busy can't play in my league. And there's some really good coaches that, if they know they just need a couple hours once a week, they can do it. But if scheduling's a hassle every week because, the people aren't communicating and making it easy to schedule the game, a lot of guys that are busy, they'll leave because they get frustrated. And, you can't get, that's why, we need that early communication right after advance. And we give people 3 days to get the game scheduled, period. That's plenty of time.